I stood there in the middle of the crowded conference room, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest, as my boss, my elegant, no-nonsense boss, Elena, slammed her fist on the table. Her eyes, usually so composed and piercing, were now wild with frustration and something deeper, something raw. "I love you, you idiot," she yelled, her voice echoing off the walls, stunning everyone into silence. The room froze, colleagues mid-sip of coffee, presentations halted on the screen. My mind raced. Was this real? Had I missed something all along? And just as I opened my mouth to respond, the door burst open. That's the moment everything changed for me, Alex Thompson, a single dad just trying to keep his head above water. But to understand how we got there, I have to take you back to the beginning. Picture this, it's 3 years ago, and I'm staring at a pile of bills on my kitchen table, my 5-year-old daughter, Lily, tugging at my sleeve. "Daddy, when's Mommy coming back?" She asks, her big blue eyes full of innocence that breaks my heart every time. My wife, Sarah, had passed away 2 years earlier in a car accident, leaving me to navigate this world alone. I was drowning, grieving, exhausted, barely holding down a job at a small marketing firm that paid peanuts. I needed a change, something stable for Lily's sake. So, when I saw the ad for a project manager position at Innovate, a rising tech company, I applied on a whim. Little did I know, that decision would lead to the most unexpected love story of my life. My first day at Innovate was a blur of nerves and new faces. The office was sleek, modern, with glass walls and buzzing energy. Elena Ramirez, the CEO, greeted me personally. She was stunning, dark hair pulled back in a professional bun, sharp suit, and a smile that could light up a room but also command respect. "Welcome, Alex. I've read your resume. Your experience in crisis management is exactly what we need," she said, shaking my hand firmly. There was a warmth in her eyes, but I brushed it off as standard boss politeness. I was too focused on proving myself, especially with Lily depending on me. That night, I picked her up from daycare, and she chattered about her day while I mentally replayed every interaction, determined not to screw this up. As weeks turned into months, I settled into the rhythm of the job. Elena was demanding but fair. She'd call late-night meetings for big pitches, and I'd stay, crunching numbers while thinking about Lily's bedtime stories. One evening, after a grueling day, Elena poked her head into my office. "Alex, you're burning the midnight oil again. Go home to your daughter." I laughed it off. "She's with my sister tonight. Besides, this report won't finish itself." She lingered, leaning against the doorframe. "You know, being a single parent is tough. I admire how you balance it all." Her tone was soft, almost personal. I nodded, mumbling thanks, but my mind was on the spreadsheet. Hint number 1, missed. Life as a single dad wasn't easy. Mornings were chaos, packing lunches, braiding Lily's hair, which I was terrible at, and rushing to drop her off before commuting to work. Afternoons meant homework help, dinner battles over vegetables, and tucking her in with stories of brave princesses who saved themselves. I dated sporadically, set up by friends, but nothing stuck. "You're still grieving," my sister would say. "Give yourself time." But time felt like a luxury I didn't have. At work, Elena started assigning me to high-profile projects. "I trust your instincts, Alex," she'd say during our one-on-ones, her hand brushing mine as she passed a file. I'd feel a spark, but dismiss it. She was my boss, after all. Professional boundaries, right? Hint number 2, sailed right over my head. One weekend, the company hosted a family picnic. I brought Lily, who immediately charmed everyone with her giggles and questions. Elena approached us by the barbecue. "This must be the famous Lily I've heard so much about," she said, kneeling to her level. "I'm Elena, your dad's boss." Lily beamed. "Daddy says you're super smart." Elena laughed, a genuine, melodic sound. Well, your daddy is pretty smart too. She spent the afternoon playing tag with Lily, her heels kicked off, hair loose for once. As the sun set, she turned to me. She's wonderful, Alex. You're doing an amazing job. There was a vulnerability in her voice, like she wanted to say more. I smiled. Thanks, means a lot. But inside, I was thinking about the next week's deadlines. Hint number 3, ignored. Challenges started piling up. Lily got sick, a nasty flu that kept her home for a week. I juggled work calls from her bedside, emailing reports between doses of medicine. Elena noticed my distraction in meetings. Alex, if you need time off, take it, she offered. Family comes first. I declined, pushing through. Then came the big client pitch. Our team worked tirelessly, but on the eve of the presentation, disaster struck. The lead designer quit abruptly, leaving gaps in the visuals. I stayed up all night fixing it, fueled by coffee and determination. The next day, bleary-eyed, I presented alongside Elena. We nailed it, the client signed on the spot. In the celebration afterward, Elena pulled me aside. You saved us, Alex. I don't know what I'd do without you. Her eyes lingered on mine, and for a second, I felt something stir. But then my phone buzzed, Lily's school calling about a forgotten lunch. Back to reality. Hint number 4, overlooked. As time passed, Elena's hints grew more obvious, at least in hindsight. She'd invite me to coffee, to discuss strategy, but we'd end up talking about life, my loss of Sarah, her own divorce years ago that left her wary of relationships. It's hard to find someone who understands the grind, she'd say, her gaze intense. I'd nod empathetically, sharing stories of Lily's antics, but never connecting the dots. Colleagues whispered, Elena's got a soft spot for you, but I laughed it off. I was the oblivious single dad, too buried in grief and responsibility to see the woman right in front of me. Then came the first real crisis. Lily's school called one afternoon. She'd fallen on the playground, a possible broken arm. I rushed out, heart in my throat, leaving a half-finished meeting. At the hospital, as they set her cast, I felt the weight of it all crashing down. How was I supposed to do this alone? That night, Elena texted, heard about Lily. How is she? Need anything? I replied briefly, but she showed up at my door with soup and toys for Lily. I couldn't just sit by, she said, stepping inside. We talked late into the night, about fears, dreams, the loneliness that creeps in. For the first time, I saw her not as my boss, but as a person with her own scars. As she left, she hugged me. You're not alone, Alex. The door closed, and I stood there, pulse racing. Was this more than kindness? But doubt crept in. What if I was misreading? Cliffhanger 1. Little did I know, that hug was the spark that would ignite everything, but not before a storm threatened to tear it all apart. Recovery for Lily was slow, and work piled up. Elena gave me flexibility, but tensions rose in the office. Rumors swirled about budget cuts, potential layoffs. I threw myself into projects, determined to secure my spot for Lily's future. Elena seemed distant at times, buried in her own stress. One day, during a team lunch, she sat next to me. Alex, have you ever thought about moving on? From the past? Her question hung in the air. I stammered about focusing on Lily. She sighed, a flicker of disappointment in her eyes. Hint number 5, still missed. The second challenge hit like a freight train. Our biggest client threatened to pull out over a miscommunication in deliverables. Elena called an emergency all hands. We fix this together, she declared. I led the rework, pulling all-nighters with the team. Elena joined us, sleeves rolled up, sharing pizzas and encouragement. In a quiet moment, as others dozed, she confessed, "I built this company after my divorce. It was my escape. But lately, I've realized work isn't everything." Her hand found mine under the table. I squeezed it back, thinking it was camaraderie. "We'll get through this," I said. She pulled away, a shadow crossing her face. Hint number 6, blindly ignored. We saved the client, but the victory felt hollow. Lily's cast came off, and she started asking about Aunt Elena, who visited often with treats and stories. "Is she your girlfriend, Daddy?" she'd tease. I'd blush and change the subject. Elena's visits became routine, movie nights, park outings. One evening, as Lily slept on the couch between us, Elena whispered, "This feels right, Alex. Like family." My heart skipped. Was she hinting? But fear held me back. What if I ruined our professional relationship? What if I wasn't ready? I changed the topic to work. Hint number 7, painfully overlooked. Tensions built. Elena grew frustrated with my obliviousness. Colleagues noticed her lingering glances, my dense responses. Then came the breaking point. A rival company poached one of our key employees, sparking a crisis meeting. Arguments flew, blame, strategies, panic. I suggested a bold pivot, but Elena shot it down harshly. "That's not enough, Alex. We need passion, commitment." Her words stung. The room tensed. I pushed back, defending my idea. That's when it happened. She slammed the table, tears in her eyes. "I love you, you idiot." The words exploded out, hanging in the air. Shock rippled through the team. My jaw dropped. All those hints flashed before me, the coffees, the hugs, the visits. How had I been so blind? The door burst open. It was HR, summoned by the commotion. "What's going on here?" they demanded. Elena composed herself, but the damage was done. Whispers erupted. I stood frozen, piecing it together. Cliffhanger 2, as the meeting dissolved into chaos, I realized my life was about to change forever, but would it be for better or worse? In the aftermath, the office buzzed with gossip. Elena avoided me, burying herself in work. I replayed every moment, cursing my stupidity. That night, I talked to my sister. "She's been dropping hints for years, Alex. Wake up." Motivated, I decided to act. But first, another hurdle, Lily's school play. Elena had promised to come, but after the outburst, would she? The day arrived, and there she was, in the audience, smiling tentatively. After, as Lily bowed, I approached Elena. "We need to talk." We walked in the park, Lily playing ahead. "I'm sorry," she said. "It just built up. You've been so focused on being the perfect dad, you didn't see me trying to be part of that." I admitted my fears, grief, rejection, boundaries. "But I see you now," I said. "And I think I've felt it too, all along." We kissed under the stars, a tentative beginning. Challenges didn't vanish overnight. We navigated office politics. Elena stepped back from direct supervision. We disclosed to HR. Rumors faded as we proved our professionalism. Lily adored her, and slowly, we built a blended family. Elena shared her own vulnerabilities. Her ex had left her feeling unworthy, but with us, she found healing. Years later, looking back, that yell was the wake-up call I needed. It taught me that love doesn't always whisper, sometimes it shouts to break through our walls. To all the single parents out there, juggling it all, don't close your heart. Second chances come when you least expect, if you're open to the hints. If this story touched you, hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring tales of love and resilience. Thanks for watching.